Introduction. You've gone silent since you thought she would start to miss you, but instead she appears utterly unconcerned. So, what's actually going through her head? And more crucially, how can you make her sense your absence so strongly that she can't ignore it? Stay there, since the goal here is not simply to go silent, but to exploit every second of that silence to your advantage. Why silence? Why silence doesn't always work. Sometimes silence doesn't work. Silence has two sides. When used well, it can make room for someone to miss you, but when used improperly, it can backfire entirely. Let's face it, a lot of people approach silence incorrectly. They believe that if I just stop texting her, she will realize how much she needs me. The truth is that silence only works when it comes from a place of strength rather than desperation. For example, you may stop talking to her, but you may be secretly waiting by your phone for her to notice that she won't notice because she knows you're still emotionally attached to her silence. The majority of people fail at this point because it only works when it's genuine and you're taking time for yourself rather than using it as a ploy to make her miss you. Women are able to discern intent. So if your silence comes across as coercive or manipulative, she won't accept it and may even interpret it as desperate or immature. Silence becomes powerful when it's a byproduct of your self-respect and personal development. Without that foundation, silence is just empty space. True silence is about withdrawing for your own growth, not to provoke a reaction. When you go silent, the focus should be on yourself rather than on her. Two common mistakes include expecting results right away and not practicing patience, which is particularly difficult when emotions are involved. After going silent, many people start expecting results almost immediately, believing that she will notice by tomorrow and miss them by next week. But human psychology and relationships don't operate on a timeline. Silence is not the best course of action. It burns slowly. It will take some time for her to get used to your absence if she is accustomed to you contacting her all the time. The problem arises when you sit there waiting for her to text you. This mindset sabotages the entire process because it keeps you emotionally dependent on her reaction. At first, she might even feel relieved or think she finally has some space, but as the days turn into weeks, that initial relief fades and something deeper sets in: curiosity, doubt, and eventually longing. Real quiet means you completely let go of expectations, stop seeking approval right away, and have faith in the process. If you don't see results right away, it doesn't mean your silence isn't working. Rather, it simply indicates that the emotional impact is still being built. Patience is essential. Silence is a long game, and those who master it know that time three brings the rewards. How silence is interpreted differently by women. Let's examine how women interpret quiet on an emotional level. It's entirely different from how guys do it. When a man stops talking, he may assume she will notice right away and take it personally, but that's not how it works. Women have multiple layers of emotional processing. She may initially not even notice your absence, since she believes she knows your pattern and is confident you will get in touch with her again. However, as time passes and she starts to question why he hasn't texted me yet and whether he is truly done with me and has moved on, the emotional impact starts to set in. And here's the worst part: women are far better at hiding their emotions than men are. Even when your silence begins to affect her, she may not show it right away, but on the inside, she is questioning everything. This is why patience is so important. Silence works on women because it forces them to face emotions they have been avoiding and gives them space to miss you, not just the surface level you, but the energy, attention, and presence you used to bring into their lives. It's a slow process, but when it does, it hits hard. The key is realizing that silence affects women deeply, but that it takes time for that emotional wave to build and crash for. The biggest mistake people make when they are without contact is to spend their time sitting around worrying about whether she is thinking about them rather than using that silence as an opportunity to grow. The truth is that no contact isn't just about her missing you, it's about you becoming someone she would miss in the first place. Focus on yourself. Without self improvement, silence is like a car without an engine, it goes nowhere. Step back and consider what you have done to better your life since you stopped communicating with her. Have you taken up a new interest that involves fitness or confidence building? Or are you just waiting for her to notice a change in your life? Women are drawn to men with drive and purpose. So if you combine growth with silence, it sends a strong message that you're not waiting for her. Rather, you're moving forward. When she eventually notices your progress, whether through mutual friends or social media, it sparks a chain reaction in which she begins to question whether I underestimated him or if I lost someone incredible. That's the power of focusing on yourself. Growth and silence cause her to reevaluate everything, and that's when the real impact starts, too. What truly catches her attention? What catches her attention the most? The fact that most people won't tell you is that she notices more than the stillness itself. It's what you do when there is silence. Women are very perceptive when it comes to energy. They can sense when a man is confident, focused, and thriving, and they can sense when he isn't thinking about it this way. If you're just sitting there doing nothing, she might not even care. But if you're out there living your best life, the energy you exude is felt. Silence alone is forgettable, but silence combined with self-assurance, development, and purpose is unforgettable. It manifests in your demeanor, your speech, and your appearance. When she realizes that you are no longer emotionally dependent on her, something inside of her is triggered, and she starts to feel your absence both physically and emotionally. She starts to question why he seems so content without me. Did I do something wrong? She will begin to doubt her own choices and feel drawn to you, not because you begged for her attention, but because you didn't need it in the first place. The secret to getting her attention is to completely shift your focus away from her and onto yourself. When you're truly happy, confident, and thriving, it creates a magnetic energy that's impossible to ignore. 3. Why are you pursuing her? The reasons why pursuing her backfires. One of the quickest ways to lose respect and power in a relationship is to chase after someone who has distanced themselves from you. When you do this, you're essentially telling her that you don't value yourself enough to wait for you to realize your worth. This behavior not only makes you less valuable in her eyes, but it also confirms her belief that she is in complete control. The hard truth is that people are drawn to things that they can't fully have. It's human nature to crave things that feel out of reach. By chasing her, you make yourself too accessible, and accessibility frequently results in a lack of appreciation. So what's the other option? Instead of chasing, the solution is to practice self-respect and patience. Concentrate on developing a sense of self-assurance and independence. She will start to see you as a strong, self-assured individual who doesn't compromise his work for anyone if you allow her to come to you when you pull back. It's not about ignoring her. Rather, it's about demonstrating to her that your world doesn't revolve around her approval. This approach not only preserves your dignity, but also raises your value in her eyes. 4. The psychological effects of absence on the psyche. When you withdraw from someone's life, you leave a void that is strong enough to compel introspection. People begin to understand the influence you had on their lives during those times of silence. This is particularly true in partnerships when you aren't easily available. She starts to repeat memories as her mind fills in the blanks. Examine previous exchanges and consider her choices. When someone gets used to your presence, your texts, calls, or attention, they establish a sense of routine and comfort. When that routine is disturbed, their mind goes into overdrive trying to make sense of the change, and she may wonder why he hasn't reached out. Is he seeing someone else, or did I make a mistake? This psychological process, which is frequently referred to as emotional withdrawal, can have a profoundly powerful effect. It's important to concentrate on self improvement and personal growth during no contact because these questions create emotional tension, and it's this tension that makes her think about you more. However, the effectiveness of your absence depends on the value you brought into her life. If your presence was memorable, uplifting, and supportive, your absence will feel significant. But if your presence was inconsistent or overly dependent on her, your absence might not leave the same impression. How to deal with it. 5 ways to deal with it when she reaches out. Your silence may cause her to reach out. One way to deal with it when she reaches out. Your silence may cause her to reach out, whether it be with a sincere message or a casual inquiry about something unimportant. In any event, this is a crucial time, and your response, or lack thereof, will determine how things turn out in the future. Your initial reaction may be to seize the opportunity when she reaches out, depending on the dynamic of your relationship. Instead, resist the temptation to react too hastily or eagerly, as this could reverse all of the progress you've made over the period of no contact. Consider the circumstances for a moment. Is she contacting you out of real curiosity, or is she just attempting to gauge interest? When you do answer, knowing her intentions will help you choose the best line of action. Keep your tone cool, confident, and composed. Don't jump into serious subjects or bring up the past right away. For instance, if she asks how you've been, answer with something interesting and positive about your life. This will not only pique her interest, but also reinforce the idea that you're not waiting around for her approval. Keep in mind that the goal isn't to play hard to get. Rather, it's to maintain your independence and self-respect. By handling her message with ease and confidence, you shift the power. Dynamic. She will find you to be a really attractive person who is confident in themselves. Why having confidence is a crucial trait. 2 reasons that confidence is essential. Confidence is the cornerstone of attraction. It's what draws attention and creates a lasting impression, even when there is no physical touch. One of the things that will determine how she views you is your level of confidence, or lack thereof. She will detect if your quiet is motivated by fear or insecurity, but if it comes from a place of strength and confidence, it makes a strong statement. Confidence isn't only about how you present yourself, it's also about how you see yourself. Do you think you're deserving of respect and affection, or are you always looking to other people for approval? These inner convictions influence your behavior, which in turn influences how other people see you. When you feel good about yourself, you naturally attract people even when you are not in contact with them. Concentrate on improving yourself in order to increase your confidence. Establish objectives. Take up hobbies and make investments in your own development. Her presumptions are challenged when she realizes that you're doing well and contented without her. She begins to wonder if it was the correct decision to let you leave. This change in perspective may pique her curiosity again and cause her to view you differently. Confidence isn't about being arrogant or acting like someone you're not. Rather, it's about accepting who you are and believing in your worth. When you have this perspective, your quietness becomes a reflection of your inner strength, and that's what makes an impression that lasts. 3 reasons to stay true to yourself. No contact isn't a game or a manipulation technique. Rather, it's a chance to get back in touch with yourself. The moment you begin using no contact as a means of controlling or influencing her behavior, you lose sight of its actual goal, which is to rediscover your own value and create a happy life for yourself rather than to make her miss you. Staying true to yourself entails establishing boundaries, putting your health first, and leading an authentic life. It also entails not sacrificing your principles or self respect in order to win someone back. When you do these things, you draw in people who value and respect you for who you are, rather than what you can accomplish for them when you are not in contact. The most empowering part is realizing that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. Whether she returns or not, you'll be in a place of strength and contentment. That's what no contact is really about. Not about winning back, but about winning yourself back. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Follow your passions. Strengthen your relationships with friends and family, and take care of your mental and physical health by doing so. You'll feel more confident and fulfilled, as well as creating a life that's worth sharing with someone else. For closing, I appreciate you watching. Please remember to hit the like button and share this video with anyone who might benefit from the advice if it spoke to you and you learned anything new. To receive more effective life-improving techniques and teachings, subscribe to the channel. To ensure that you never miss an upload, switch on the notification bell and leave a remark below. Your opinions and experiences would be greatly appreciated. Remain resilient and focused, and I'll see you in the upcoming video.